What if Knuckles from Sonic was a human and a girl too? The cool thing about cosplay is that you can do basically whatever you want. Hello à tous, bonjour to everyone, I'm Nao and today we're gonna make something. So I just made a Knuckles cosplay for a Sonic group and it was so fun. It was supposed to be a quick and easy project, but as usual it wasn't. How surprising! I had a lot of trouble with one part in particular, but it was a new technique, so I mean, duh. You can be good the first time, you can be good the first time. No more talking, we're gonna go straight to the project. And first, I start with the top. So I took my hoodie pattern and traced where I want my crop top to be. I don't want to cut this pattern because I will maybe use it later. So for the sleeve this time I will trace where I want my short sleeve to be and I will cut it because I have two sleeves, so one is untouched and the other one is for this pattern. Then I will mark and trace where I want my strip to be. I put a lot of decorative strip onto this project. It was so time consuming but also so fun to make. And this is all the pattern piece that I made for this project. And now we just need to cut it. So onto the real fabric this time I will trace all around my piece with a marker, and then for the strip I will mark them with a friction pen. And I don't know if you know it, but friction pen is actually not the friction that make disappear the line, it's it. So when you're gonna iron your fabric, everything will disappear. So yes, it's a cool tips and tricks. So here are my front and back, and now we're gonna make the strips that go on them. And for that I will use a craft paper in the middle, so it will help me to make the fold, and I know that my strap will be exactly the same size at the end. Then I will pin them onto my back piece following my mark, and I will put a little bit of extra strip on the top and the bottom because it's easier to sew them first and to cut them afterward. So yes, I will just sew them with a straight stitch at 1 or 2 millimeters from the edge and then trim the excess. And then I will iron it to make it extra flat, and you're gonna see a lot of ironing on this project. And then for the white triangle on the top I put 2 layers because one was a little bit transparent, and then I sew them onto the neckline and onto the bottom. And for the side I didn't sew them because we're gonna add a strip there, so it will secure our triangle. And now we're gonna make a lot of strip for the sleeve, and no, it's not an earthquake. Apparently my camera was not steady enough. Then I will overlock some of my strip because some of them will be mid-air, so I need a clean finish. And then I will iron it again because the overlock opened a little bit my strap, so I need to make them flat again. Now I will cut the hole into my sleeve, and I will cut a little bit on the inside so I have some fabric for the tiny hem all around. Then I will overlock the inside, make some notch on the angle, and then pin everything for the hem. And yes, so much preparation just for that. And then I'm gonna iron everything flat, and now it's time for the long and funny part, to do all the straps. For that I will mark with my friction pen where I want every strip to be, and this is where I need your help because I have a question for those kind of steps where I do the same thing again and again and it's not really interesting to talk. Do you want me to keep explaining every step so you have kind of a tutorial, or do I take the occasion to speak about other subject? So yes, I'm really wondering, what do you prefer, that I keep explaining every step or that I can talk about other subject while I'm doing something like this and maybe the image are enough to understand what I'm doing? So yes, tell me in the comment, it will really help me, thank you. And this is the final sleeve, so I will trim the excess and put a little bit of ironing again. And now that we made one, we need to make two, because we have 2 arms. At least I have 2 arms. So then for this piece that go on the top of the shoulder, I will just put a little band and trim the excess again. Now we're gonna secure this piece on the top of the sleeve, and as you can see the curve didn't follow the sleeve perfectly. It's because I want this piece to overlay a little bit and not be so flat. When everything is pinned down, you just need to sew those pieces together. And now on the front, I will put the letter that made the word knuckles. So it's a technique that's called DTF, so you can print and then transfer onto fabric. So I made it at my old work. So you just need to iron it following the instruction, let it a little bit cool down, and then you can peel off the paper and you have a nice result. Then I'm gonna overlock the front and back piece together at the shoulder seam. And when it's done, we're gonna put the sleeve. When it's done, I'm gonna fold my top in two, so the front and the back face each other, and I'm gonna sew in one go the side seam and the one that closed the sleeve. And now I put my final strip onto the end of the sleeve, and yes, I was so happy to finally finish the strip. Then I would go and do the hem on the bottom of the top. Then we're gonna make the hood, so I sew it off camera, and now I'm just ironing her hem, so I have a nice corridor for my ribbon to be. Then I'm gonna make some tiny hole for my eyelet, so I have somewhere for the cord to go out of the hem. When the hem is done, I will put a little safety pin onto my cord and go through the channel. And this is our hood ready to be sewn onto the base hoodie. First, I will pin everything in place around the neck. And then overlock the hoodie and the top together. And our top already looks so cool. I just have some little tweaking to finish, like cutting those ribbons that was a little bit too long. Then I will go to my sewing machine to make a little hem at the end. Around the hood there is a lot of fabric, so I will make a top stitch around the neck so they will stay nice and flat. Same things for the sleeve. I tried to do a top stitch, but you're gonna see it didn't go well the first time. Anya! Yeah. So I remade it this time with some thread, and this time it was good. So this is the final result, and I'm super happy about this hoodie. I mean, if it was for me, I would make it a little bit longer, but I will definitely wear it. The top is done, and I mean, I'm absolutely in love with the sleeve. I think it's a masterpiece. And now we're gonna go with the pants. Same process for the pants. I will make a pattern. This time it's a boat pattern, but I will make a lot of modification on it. Then I will mark my seam allowance, cut everything in a mock-up fabric and make a first prototype. This is the final result of the first prototype, so as you can see, really fitting. So now it's time for the modification, like this line where I'm gonna cut the legs. I will also make the legs a little bit wider because I want an oversized effect on all the pants. And I don't trust my skill in pattern this much, so I'm gonna make a whole prototype again to check that everything that I made is good. And it will not, like a little spoiler, it will not be good. Like, you can see it, it's way too big. It looks like a diaper a little bit, so I will make a lot of modification. And when it's done, I'm gonna cut everything in my fabric, this time for real, and we're gonna make the real pant. First thing is to sew the pocket onto the front piece of the pant. When it's done, I'm gonna flip everything and do a top stitch to secure in place my pocket. But we don't care about what I'm talking, because who is coming to see me? This is my cat. Her name is Gremlins and I love her. I'm so mad in love. I'm a little bit crazy about her, but look at her eyes. She can soar into your soul and give you kindness. Yes, anyway, Going back onto the pants, I'm gonna stitch the other side of the pocket with my little helper. I'm gonna pin everything in place and then sew everything. When it's done, I'm gonna make the pleats onto the front part and onto the back part because I made a lot of pleat to have a baggy sort of look. Then I'm gonna iron everything in place so the pleat will be nice and crispy. Next step is to sew one front legs with one back leg, so I have the right one and the left one ready to go. And in the same time, it's gonna secure our pocket into the seam so it will not move out. And finally, I will top stitch this seam onto the side of the leg so it will be nice and flat. And now it's time for the decorative part, so I'm gonna make some pockets. So I use some interfacing to make the fabric a little bit more thick and to hold its shape a little bit better. So I cut the interfacing at the size of the pocket and then I run the interfacing on. Then I will make the fold for my hem, and I totally forgot that I need to overlock all the side. So I'm gonna do that, and after I'm gonna prepare my pockets. I'm gonna mark a little corner onto the bottom, then fold them into a small triangle and sew onto the line. When it's done, I'm gonna trim the excess. Following step is to iron the side and the bottom to form the pocket. And when it's done, our base pocket is made, so I'm gonna pin the pocket in place and fold like just the overlock on the inside to hide the seam. And when it's done, I'm gonna just top stitch my pocket and then iron it to form the final pocket. For one, I didn't need it, but for the second one, I need a pocket flap, so I made a quick pocket flap. Then sew it on one side, then flip it and do a top stitch to secure the flap downward. Downward? Downward. I don't know. Then do some ironing again. Then I will close the pant by overlock the seam that go onto the inner legs. And I also did the zipper off camera because I'm not good at doing zipper. I will not make a tutorial about it because I need a tutorial every time that I do a zipper. One of the last steps is to do the waistband, so I'm gonna stitch together all the piece, and as you can see I put some interfacing again onto the piece because my fabric was a little bit stretchy and I don't want my waistband to be stretchy and I want them to be a little bit more sturdier. When the two waistbands are stitched together, I'm gonna stitch them onto the pant on one side. I'm gonna clip the corner and then fold my waistband inside out and close the seam. For that I use some pins. You are supposed to iron the inside waistband with the seam allowance, but I was a little bit sick of ironing, so I just do by hand and went some pins and it go really well, so I have no trouble at all. Then you just need to add a hole and a button, but I do that off camera. And to finalize the pant, I need to go onto the bottom and I put some elastic onto the bottom legs and stretch everything to have a crunchy, like ruffle effect onto the bottom part. The pant is ready, not perfect because the fabric was not easy to manage, but it's so comfortable. Now that all the clothes are made, we're gonna start on the wig, and this is the part where I struggle a lot. If you know me, I don't like doing wigs. It's because I didn't do a lot of wigs, and this is why for the last year I challenged myself with some more complicated wigs to try some new techniques, see which one will fit me, which one I like the most. So yes, this project was also a challenge for me for the wigs, and you're gonna see it didn't go well on the first try. And yes, you always look your best at this stage. So cute. So cute, so cute. And it makes me always think about the expectation versus reality check. So you think that dating cosplayer will be all about pretty makeup, pretty wigs and crazy outfits, but it's only like 1% of the time, and the rest of the time you are in your kitchen putting cellophane wrap around your head and taping everything. So yes, kind of disappointing, but life is life. So I'm gonna attempt to do a hard shell wig. So for that I put a lot of whip cap and headband to make my head a little bit bigger, then some cellophane wrap and some tape, and I trace like all around my head and then cut everything to finally free my head from the hard shell wigs. Let's see if the second try is better or not. Okay, not bad actually. Don't know why this one keep easy to take off. Okay, next step. So yes, this is my dog. You see previously my cat, and this is my dog, Buddha. So you just hear me saying that it was my second attempt, because the first one I didn't put the headband around my head and it was too small. So with the second attempt being the right size, I pin it onto a new mannequin head because I didn't have one before, so I think it was one of the reasons why I always struggled with wigs. This is why I decided finally to buy a real one. So when the cap is in place, I will cut it in the back and stuff a little bit my wig cap to be full and a little bit more sturdier. When it's done, it's time for the art shell, and I made a lot of mistakes. Like my padding was a little bit too thick and I used spray on glue, so it melted everything. So I did go back with some hot glue and a thinner padding, and it was a little bit better, but not as clean as I thought art shell wig are supposed to be, but it was my first attempt, so I made a lot of mistakes, I think, and if you have some advice, I will take it. So I just did the second layer, and as you can see, I still made a pretty bad job because I have some holes. Don't know if my padding is too thin, but it's melting really quick, and it's not as hard as I think hard-shelled wig will be. I think it's pretty soft. So this is why I was keep eating and make holes. You remember when I said that the hard-shelled wig wasn't hard enough? Yes, I take off that because removing the pin was a nightmare. They was stuck in the padding. It was really a struggle. When the wig cap is off of the mannequin head, I will remove all the stuffing and then try the wig cap on me again. So we're back. So I'm gonna try the helmet on. I will not lie, I'm pretty stressed about the helmet didn't fit, didn't look well, or things like that. It's my first time. So yeah, I don't have any idea what I'm doing, but we're gonna try. I didn't try it before filming, of course, because I want to try with you. So in case it didn't work, you can be my emotional support. Moment of truth. So things that I don't like. Those gaps just there. Doesn't look good, but with a little bit of glue, I think it will be good. But those gaps here. Yes, you can see them? Yes, you can see them. This is not good. Come with me, my little friend. Yep. Don't mind the mess. Okay. So I just cut a slit onto the back. I tried to tape it, but it was not sticky enough, so I finally glued a piece of fabric on the back. And this is the face. The face of a cosplayer who don't know if she's doing right, if it's gonna look good. Yes, you don't know. You don't know what you're doing, but you're gonna do it! Okay, you're gonna trust the process. So the next step is to paint the base of the wig cap the same color as the hair that you're gonna glue on. And then I go straight onto gluing some hair, but it was a mistake. But past me will explain that just in a second. So I made just a test piece and I didn't like the result. So I made another one that I think is more realistic. So I'm gonna rip everything that I made yesterday so we can do all of it with this method. Yes, watch me rip off an entire day of work. But it's the thing about cosplay or creative stuff in general is that sometimes you're gonna do some things, it's gonna not look good and you're gonna restart. But this is how you learn a lot. I think it's by mistakes. So I'm gonna do the entire head with the new method, and I slightly go better and better with every braid, so it was cool to start from the bottom because the ugly one will be hide. So I will try to explain. So I took 4 strands of hair, 2 for the side, 1 for the bottom, 1 for the top. I put some glue, then flip the hair inside, then put a little bit of glue on the top to secure every hair. For the one that are close to another braid, I will really push with my nails to make them really close. I will put 5 strands onto the middle, then with a hairdryer, I will shape the braid a little bit downward, then brush everything so the loose hair will come off. Then split my braid in the middle of the 5 sections. And when I have my 2 sections made, I will twist them in the same way, like if one is clockward, the other one will be clockward too. And I twist them really, really tight, and then I put a ribbon on the end, and when you let go, tada, you have a twisting braid. You just need to do some touch-up, like make it even everywhere, and it's done. Yes, super easy to make, so now I just need to make 30 more, because onto the whole head I have like 34. For the temple, I glue with hot glue some hair, then some hoo glue for the piece, and put some pins to secure in place while the glue is drying. While I still have the hoo glue with me, I make some small piece for the hairline. And when they are dry, I will glue them with the tiniest blob of hot glue that I can around the hairline. And when it's done, I'm gonna make the braid like I usually do, like on all the other one. It's not perfect, but it's actually one of my best hairlines, so I'm kind of happy about the progress. Last step, I have some white glove from old cosplay. I think it was my Luigi cosplay. I 3D print some spike, glue them on, and we are ready. It's time for the final results. As I said, we was a big group of Sonic character and everyone looked so good and it was so fun. I have some really great memory about this convention. It was so fun. We had a lot of fun doing some crazy picture that you're gonna see at the end. But yes, I absolutely recommend doing some big group, and I will link the Instagram into the description. Thanks to everyone who make it this far into the video. If you like it and don't want to miss the other one, I enjoin you to subscribe to the channel. I post every first Saturday of the month. So yes, it's a wrap for today. Thank you, see you soon, goodbye, au revoir. The cool thing... Attends, ça commence. It was supposed to be... Mimine. Bah alors. Regarde pas comme ça. Mimine. Oh, je sais. I will be ready. Faithful. Est-ce qu'il y a oublié quelque chose? Je viens d'avoir une révélation. Il y a quelques années, j'avais dessiné des cartes de tarot. Et mon look me fait penser à cette carte. Vous trouvez pas qu'il y a genre des choses en commun? C'est bien, ça veut dire que je suis toujours attirée par les mêmes choses. Et le plus drôle dans tout ça, c'est que la carte de la tempérance, c'est associé au signe du Sagittaire. Je suis Sagittaire. Voilà. Donc c'est techniquement ma carte. Et aujourd'hui, je ressemble à ma carte. J'aime bien. Oh, quel galérien. J'ai quasiment fini.